Welcome back, our viewers, on the second episode of Cultivating the Right Mindset. And as you heard from the first episode, we already talked about, how we should also reprogram, and we've been given a lot of insights on how to cultivate a right mindset. And now we are looking at reprogramming our mindset, because there's a way we are already programmed, and so we need to reprogram so that we can now start cultivating the right mindset. So you could take us through how we could do this.
So changing the program is the most important thing, because the same person cannot have a different life.
Yes.
That cannot happen. So only a different person can have a different life.
Okay.
And when I'm talking about the person, I'm not talking about the body. The body is not the person.
Very important to mention.
Yes, the body is not the person. The mind is not the person.
So what is the person?
So many people don't know who they are. I think we can start from that. So many people don't know who they are.
Okay.
So many people identify themselves to be their mind. Others identify themselves to be their body. Others identify themselves to be the soul.
Okay.
But you are none of that.
Okay.
If we were to talk about the soul, what would you say about the soul? Talk about your soul.
It's a spirit.
No, say something about the soul. Like
what?
So like the way I would tell you now, say something about your show. You'd say my show.
Yes.
I host this kind of guest.
It's
Now, just say something random out of nowhere, even if it's not true, even if it doesn't make sense.
It's a happy soul. It's a grateful soul.
So you would call it my soul, right?
Yeah.
My soul.
Yes.
Okay. When you're talking about your body, what would you say?
It's a lovely body.
My body.
It's a beautiful body.
My body.
My body.
If you're talking about mind, it is my mind.
Yes.
If you're talking about instinct, it is my instinct.
Yes.
So these are the things you have.
You are owning.
Yes. These are your things.
Yes.
And you cannot be the thing you own. You cannot be your thing.
Kizungu mkute kidogo.
Okay. You're calling the body yours.
Yes.
So that means there's the body and there's the you who is calling the body yours. There's the body.
So it
and
means
there's the person.
They are separate entities.
Yes.
Okay.
There's you who owns the body. So you cannot be the body.
Come on now.
Because you don't say, that's the truth. Because you don't say, I am the body.
So there's a body and the owner.
Yes.
Okay.
The one who is speaking. The speaker is the owner of the body.
Okay.
The one who is saying my mind, the mind belongs to the speaker. The one who is speaking.
Okay.
When you say my car, it's not the car which is saying.
So it's the car and the owner.
Good. So when you say this is my car, the car cannot say this is my car, because the car is the car. The car can only say this is me.
Yeah.
You see? So if you are saying my body, that means that you have a body. You are not the body. If you are saying my mind, then that means you have a mind. You are not the mind.
Okay.
If you are saying my soul, then it means then that you have a soul. You are not the soul.
Interesting.
So if first of all you have to, if first of all you can be able to know who you are, then you can be able to actually know what you are changing and who you are changing. When you tell someone to define themselves, for example, if this was an interview, and then I tell you now, tell me about yourself.
Okay.
You'll start with your name, but that's your name. You tell me I'm fancy, I do counseling, I host show, or I'm this kilograms away, I'm this high, this is my height, this is my body, whatever. What do we call it? The body what?
Structure. Yes,
the body structure is I'm chocolate, I'm this. So all those are things that you have accumulated. You see? Because your body is just a heap of food. Nothing else. Your mind is just a heap of memories and programmings and knowledge that you have gathered. If you can take a child who is 1 year old, not even one, just a few months old, that child does not have any memory. We would say that that child does not have a mind, because it's just an empty space. But in reality, it's not. There's no empty space. you know. So where I'm going with this is this, that first of all, you have to know who you are. You have to stop identifying yourself with things that you are not. And that's why so many people are taking offense when you tell them that they don't look good.
Okay.
Because you think you're being threatened. When I tell you that you don't look good, and then you take offense, it's because you think I'm threatening you. But I'm not. I'm threatening your body. It's the body that I'm talking about. If I tell you that you're a fool, I'm not talking about you.
The mind.
I'm talking about your mind. So if you can be able to identify and find yourself within, and I'm going to tell you who you are, if you can now be able to base yourself as who you are, you'll never compare with someone.
Okay.
You'll never crave for anything material. Because you are the person who is watching the body.
Yeah.
I would call you the witness. The person who is witnessing everything that is happening. You are the one who is watching over the body. You are the one who is listening to the mind. You are the one who is talking about the soul. You are the one who is talking, but you are not the things you are talking about.
So how then do we get to know who we are? That is the question our viewer could be having.
There are so many people who teach people who they are. You go to a class and then you are taught self-awareness.
Yes.
That's a mistake.
Okay.
You cannot teach someone who they are. They have to discover it themselves. The only thing that they do is that they make you think that this is who you are. But in reality, that is not who you are.
Okay.
You see? That's not you. So, understanding that deeply within us, there's the witness, the person who all this is happening to. Because so many people think that life is happening to them. But life is not happening to you. You are the life that is happening.
Okay.
You see? So life is happening to your body, life is happening to your memory, and then you are the life itself that is happening. And people don't have instincts. You don't have an instinct.
What do we have?
You are the instinct.
So when I say my instinct is telling me this, I'm wrong.
Who is speaking at that particular time? It's your mind. Because the mind is the one which knows what is instinct. It's the mind which is talking about the instinct because the mind knows what the instinct is.
It can identify.
Yes. So, understanding that this body cannot be threatened. And even when you threaten the body, you're not threatening me, you're threatening my body. Then it is going to get you to a higher level of understanding, whereby you come to realize that everything that is happening in your life, as I had said previously, you are creating it. Because you are observing everything that is happening. You see? So many people are caught up in this cycle of identifying themselves with the car they own, with the kids they have given birth to,
The
titles, the responsibilities,
status quo.
the status quos and all that. But all those are things that have happened to you. So if you can be able to find in the core of being who is there, then you'll be interacting with the right person. And you never get stressed about this happening to you or that happening to you. Because you clearly understand that no matter what comes to you, you can transform it into anything you want.
Yeah.
No matter what comes to you, you can transform it. If somebody breaks your heart, it gets to you as a learning lesson. It gets to you as a class you are in, not a heartbreak. If you decide it's heartbreak, it becomes heartbreak. If you decide it was a lesson to learn, it becomes a lesson to learn.
Yeah.
And then you get better. You see? If someone abuses you verbally, you have the right to dilute that and dispute that and even decide what that is the way you want, in a way that is going to favor you.
Okay.
So we are the architectures of our life. We are shaping our lives with every decision, with every thought, with every emotion. Everything. And the moment now you allow the wrong things to get in your mind, you are the one who is going to suffer the consequences. Because you are feeding yourself with programs and informations that are going to create chaos within you, to create suffering within you. Because life itself has no suffering. There's no suffering in life. People create suffering out of situations. Somebody leaves you, and then you create suffering out of that.
Okay.
Somebody dies, and then you create suffering out of that. Because there are so many people who are trying to own things, saying this is mine, that is mine. But in reality, nothing is yours. You don't even belong to you, yourself.
True.
You don't.
I know our viewer could be there asking themselves, why cultivate a right mindset?
Because that's all there is to do. Because if you don't do that, there's no way you are ever going to have a different life. That's the only chance you stand at having a different life. So if you don't change how you see things, nothing will ever change. If you are waiting for the external to change so that you can change, you'll never change.
So it's important to mention we start internally.
That's where everything is happening.
Coming outward, externally.
Yes, nothing is happening outside of you. Everything is happening within you. So now, start changing that.
Yeah.
Start changing the old programs. Question everything that you are told by your parents. Everything.
Sure.
Question everything that you are told in the church. Everything. Question everything that you are told by your society. Everything. Question everything that you are taught in class by the government. Question it. The moment now you question all that, you'll now be able to select what works for you and what doesn't. You now decided to say, now this is what makes sense to me, this doesn't. So that you don't stay in a position where you find yourself doing something that does not resonate with who you are. You are doing something because the society says you should. You are doing something because the church says you should. You are doing something because the government says you should, but not because you want to.
So
you have no
in
idea
short,
what you are
you're
doing.
telling us we should not follow blindly.
It's not even bribery. If you can fail to follow at all, even better. If you can stay in a position where you are not following, you are the one who is leading.
Is it everything that is harmful? No. So you should be picky with what is working for you and what is helpful for you.
Tell me something that is not harmful. Fancy.
What do you mean?
Tell me one thing that is not harmful.
Yeah, it's not.
Everything is harmful. Based on who is receiving it, or how you are receiving it. And that's why I'm telling you, people are creating suffering out of everything. There's nothing that people are not suffering. You get into marriage, you suffer. You are single, you are suffering. You become educated, you are suffering. You become not educated, you are suffering. You are rich, you are suffering. You are poor, you are suffering. You are male, you are suffering. You are female, you are suffering. People are suffering absolutely everything
Across.
in this life. You get a job, you suffer. Having to wake up every morning and hating Mondays. You start your own business now, you have to suffer losses and all that, and taxation and all that. There's nothing that people are not suffering. Not because life is full of suffering, but because people are creating suffering out of life, out of everything. We have to see life as it is. We have to see things as they are. Not as we have been told they are. Not as we, in our mind, we think they are, but as exactly they are.
As they are.
And that is only going to happen if there's no voice talking to you behind somewhere. That's the only way. That's the only way you can see. You know, if you fancy, I give someone this book, and they don't know what this is. They have the privilege of naming it whatever they want.
Yeah.
But if I give someone this, you give this to a child who is 1 year, they have no idea what it is, they have no idea what to do with it. They can do whatever they want with it. They can create anything they want out of this, because they don't know what it is, they don't know what they are supposed to do with it. But you give an adult this, atachukua kalamu aanze kuandika vitu. But that's not all that you can do with this. So if you can erase everything that you know about everything, and then you remain in a state where you are a nobody, you are a nothing, you are not defined by anything. then from that point now, we can talk about cultivating the right mindset.
At what age can one start cultivating the right mindset?
Probably at the age where someone is going to discover that something is not right. Because there's nobody who can change their mind if they don't see the need to change. So there's no specific age.
Okay.
You'll find
But
a
now,
15,
for instance, for children, teenagers, they're about, when can we start saying maybe this child is cultivating, especially from now the counseling lenses?
So if a child is cultivating the right mindset, what does that mean? What are they getting rid of? Now, if you're doing the right thing,
Of course, the bad thing.
good. Where is this bad thing coming from? That's where you should be starting.
So it has no age.
It has no age. But now,
It can be at any level of life.
yes. But
The
a child,
minute you come to a realization of something is not right.
exactly. But a child doesn't have to cultivate the right mindset if parents installed the right mindset.
Okay.
Because if as a parent I install the right mindset to my child, they don't have to get to a certain level in life where they have to cultivate the right mindset because they already have the right mindset. So all these now is coming from the societal programming, from the basis, the foundation of what we have told life is, what we have been told money is, what we have been told riches are, what we have been told about leadership and government and everything. If we cannot question that, we cannot change anything. Because you have to put a question mark at the end of everything that everybody says to you. Don't just say that, mtu anakuambia kitu and then you are like, you put it as a statement and then you accept it as it is. Put a question mark at the end of everything that someone says. Like our mind says this, put a question mark there. Find out the answer for yourself. My parents say this, put a question mark there. Question that, question everything. So the moment you start questioning things, then you start awakening and realizing that probably you have been living the life that is not meant for you. You have been living a lie. You have been chasing things that don't make any sense. You see so many people who are chasing material things. Ananunua hii gari, hii ingine ikitoka ananunua hiyo, hiyo ingine ikitoka ananunua hiyo. And these are people who are suffering.
Yes, so we are not saying material things are bad.
No, they're not bad.
All we are saying is, first of all, do not work on the outwards. Ensure you work the inwards
The
first.
within, yes.
Yes, because like this person who's doing things to be seen is not content. They are not happy.
Yes.
They don't have a purpose, right?
And most of them have voids within themselves. And then they are trying to fill them with material things.
And those are
It can't work.
different things.
Yes, it can't work.
One will never fill the other.
There's no way you can graft a tree with a metal.
This is an
It will
amazing
never
topic.
work. It will never work.
Okay.
So many people want to live a different life. So many people are looking forward to have a different future. But there's only one secret of having the kind of a life, the kind of a future you want. Just one. By creating the future.
Allow me to interject and ask you, could this be the cause of, the many mental illnesses we have? Could this where the rain started beating us?
The reason why we have all these crises, fancy, is because people don't know who they are.
And they're not willing to.
And they are not willing to know because they're in a comfort zone of holding on to what they have been told. They never question anything. That's why they are suffering. That's why somebody is suffering a divorce. Why should you suffer a divorce? You've not lost anything.
What do you mean you've not lost?
What have you lost?
The relationship
Which relationship?
that was there.
There was no relationship.
What do you mean? What was there?
Maybe we'll talk about that some other time. But there's no relationship that's happening out there. The relationship is happening in
It's
here.
within.
It's within. Because you think you have a husband, but the husband doesn't have you as a wife.
Yeah.
You think you're in a relationship, but the other person thinks otherwise. Either it's a situationship, you are there out of petty, out of mercy, ni huruma nasikia tu huruma.
So many
You know?
factors.
So you think you're in a relationship with someone, but in reality you are in a relationship with yourself.
With yourself.
You don't have a relationship with someone else. So there's nothing that you can lose. Nothing. So I don't understand why even when somebody says that I have lost my child, why are you suffering that?
What do you mean?
Why are you suffering losing a child?
Why shouldn't you?
Would you have suffered if you had the child? If you had not had the child?
From the onset?
Yes.
No, but you see now, at some point, this child existed.
So you're not losing the child. You're not suffering losing the child. You are suffering being attached to the child. Let's say your neighbor loses a child. Are you crying?
Yes, out of empathy.
Okay, right now, as we are talking, there's a family somewhere in the country, 100 families who are burying their children. Are we crying?
No, we are not.
Why not? And that's a child who have died.
We didn't know the child. We were not.
The attachment is not there.
Yeah.
So you're not crying because the child has died. You are crying because you are attached to the child.
Yes, but this is my child.
It's not your child. There are so many aspects to that.
This is so interesting.
There are so many aspects to that. It's not your child. Because the child came through you, not from you. That's one thing you need to understand. That a child does not come from the parent. It comes through the parent.
The parent.
Not from. So you're just a vessel that was used to bring the child to the earth.
Okay.
And because there's no single day, ask a parent, because you're saying this is your child. Now, how did you make that finger? Hiyo masikio ulitengeneza aje? Si mtoto ni wako? Ulitengeneza aje hiyo masikio? You have no idea how the child came to be. Hujui hata masikio ilitoka wapi, hujui mapua ilitengenezeka aje, hujui damu inatengenezwa na nini. There's nothing you know about how the child came to be who they are. And how you are claiming it's yours. But you have no idea what it is made of, and how it is made.
Yeah.
You just contributed your genetic materials, which was not yours. You did not place there. You didn't grow as a woman, you didn't grow the ovaries and the eggs. You didn't grow them. They just grew. As a man, I didn't grow the sperms.
I didn't have an option of saying even they don't grow.
Yes, you
It
didn't.
was not optional.
It happened to you. And it had nothing to do with you. So if you didn't grow the eggs, so how then can you claim what comes from the egg which is not yours, which you didn't grow? It's just like going to your neighbor, alafu then unaanza kucomplain maembe ni yako na hukupanda hiyo begu hata hujui kwenye ilitoka. You did not plant the seed. You did not cultivate. Because you don't even cultivate the child. Wewe unakuraga ndio.
Now,
for your own sake.
This is such an interesting topic, and one that is, having a lot of questions. After cultivating the right mindset, how do you ensure now you keep it? Like, it will not, is it actually first of all possible to cultivate the right mindset, then along the way you backslide back to where you were?
Let me tell
possible?
you, if you ever lose something, it's because it's not yours. You cannot lose anything that is yours.
Okay.
Just like opportunities. You cannot lose an opportunity. You cannot lose something. Like, you go for an interview and you say, I lost the interview. You never had it. That which is yours will always come to you. So if somebody is struggling to cultivate the right mindset, then it is not the right mindset.
The right mindset is not, you should not struggle.
Because the most powerful things requires the most gentle touch. When the thing is powerful enough, you don't need to force it to work. You just need to touch it and it works. So when the mindset is resonating with who you are, because sometimes people think that they are cultivating the right mindset, but that's wrong. They are cultivating someone else's mindset. They are cultivating the mindset that I'm telling them they should cultivate, but not their own mindset. You see? So that's why you are going to struggle. So yes, you can cultivate the right mindset, but that's not what is the most important. The most important is first of all discovering who you are, and then cultivating the mindset in resonance with who you are. Not just any mindset, not just any positivity. You see? So sustaining cannot the question of sustaining something should not arise in anything. Just like the way people say that they are doing something to sustain a marriage. Why? I'm doing something to sustain the relationship. You should just be you. When you are you, that which is yours, you won't have to work hard to maintain it. That's the reality. That's why people are struggling even in relationships. That I'm really struggling to make the relationship work. Why? Because you are not yourself. The moment you are yourself, fancy, everything that is coming to you and it meets you as you are, the real you, you not have to work hard to maintain it or to sustain it. It comes out naturally because it is responding to the real self. But the problem is that thing comes, it meets someone else. Then you have to struggle to sustain it because it's not yours. It's someone else's. You see? So it's just like the way you can tell me that you can feel these clothes are heavy. You can't unless you overdress. It's just like telling me that someone who has 200 kgs inaitwa BMI, the BMI yake inasema ako sawa because of the height. And then sasa uniambie huyo mtu ninaona kama hiyo mwili yake ni mzito sana. No. Your burdens are weightless. So if you know when people say that, I'm carrying so much weight on your shoulder, because it's not your weight. You're carrying the weight of the society, you're carrying the weight of your parents, you're carrying the weight of your kids, you're carrying the weight of your job. Your burdens are weightless. They have no, you can't feel them. Just like the way you can't feel a nose. Because it's weightless. But wakati itafura ikuwe na kidonda utaikuwa unaisikia. Because it has something that is not supposed to be there. So if you're struggling to maintain something, that's because that thing is not yours. It's not resonating with who you are. But the moment you become the true self, you tap into the real person that you are, the real self. Everything that matches with you is going to come to you, and you not have to work hard to sustain it. So if first of all you discover who you are, and then you tune into the right mindset, you not struggle to sustain the mindset. It will just sustain itself.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. Mindset is such a, an interesting topic, and one that is raising a lot of question, curiosity, and I think this is something we would want to learn more and more and more. No, we've come to the end of the show, but before we do that, maybe you can give us a parting shot, matters mindset, because I know our viewers will also want maybe to get in touch with you. You can tell them how they can get in touch with you, social medias, a number they can use to reach you.
Yes.
Because I'm sure even them, they have so many questions, that they would want to ask, and maybe we were not able to unpack everything in this show.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I'll just wind up briefly by saying this. If you are watching this video and you want to end suffering in your life, the most important thing is to stop resisting life. Just flow with the current. There's a wave in your life, sit on it, let it carry you to the shores. Stop resisting. Because if you can accept everything that comes into your life as if it is what you are waiting for, you'll never suffer. So the most important thing is that anything that is contained in the experience, accept it as if it is what you are waiting for. Don't fight it, work with it. You'll not suffer in life. If you want to change your mindset, you have to be willing to go through the painful sharpening of change. It's not just going to happen out of the blues, it's work. You have to undo and change the programs that have been programmed within you, in your mind. So everything that is happening out of your reaction to life. Because as I have said, what matters is not what comes to you. What matters is how you respond to what comes to you. So change how you respond, and everything that is coming to you is going to change. You want a better future? Create it. Nobody is going to give it to you. Create it. With every decision, with every thought, with every emotion, with every interaction. Be careful and watchful of the things that you're feeding your mind, because you will become those things. Your mind is the greatest tool and weapon you have to shape your life. So use it wisely for your own good. If you want to get in touch with me, you can give me a call or WhatsApp or text through 0713 550 493. 0713 550 493. I go to school, I coach individuals, I go to religious groups and all that. So if you have a gathering, an event, or any group that you'd like to invite me so that we can have these conversations, I'm always welcome. And my office is at Kenyatta Road, along Thika Road. So you come there, you find me, we get things done.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you too.
We are really grateful, and we are definitely looking forward to have you more and more and more.
Thank you.
And to our viewers, kindly subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Watch this show, share it, like it, and leave your thoughts. We will be very, very grateful for this feedback. Until next time, my name is Fanso Wainaina. See you.